In this video, I'm going to show you how to use a table, an equation, and a graph to represent this scenario here. It says Beth has been with the company 6 years longer than Paco. And what I'm going to do is make a table to represent this information. So in order to know how many years Beth has been with a company, she first needs to know how long Paco has been there, because then I'm going to think about, well, Beth has been there longer than that. So I'm going to start with Paco. He's going to represent my X variable. And Beth is going to represent my Y variable. Now, if Paco hasn't been with the company, then that means Beth has been there 6 years longer, so she'll have been there 6 years. And if Paco has been there 1 year, 6 years more than that would be 7. If Paco has been there 2 years, 2 years plus 6 would mean that Beth has been there 8 years more, so 6 years longer, so plus 8. 3 years for Paco would mean if I add 6, I'd get 9 for Beth. If Paco has been at the company 4 years, if I say 6 years longer, that would mean 10 for Beth. And then you'll see the pattern continues. And now what I'm going to do after I have my table filled out is represent this table with an equation like I did over here. Now the equation normally starts like this: y equals mx plus b. Now the y is going to represent my Beth here, how long she's been at the company, and the x is going to represent the Paco table here, his column. The m is the slope of your equation, and b is your starting point, your y-intercept. Now, to get your slope, the m, notice how your table is changing. The m, your slope, changes at a rate of y over x. And I know that this change here, how this is going up, is going up by 1, and how my x's are changing are also going up by 1. And if I divide, I get my slope is equal to 1. Now my b, my starting point, is whenever x is equal to 0, what's our starting place? Well, Beth started 6 years before Paco did, so the starting y-intercept value when x is equal to 0 would be 6. This is the equation for this setup, so we could find any amount of years that Paco's been there, and we can solve for how long Beth has been there, is this equation, y equals 1x plus 6. You could also write it as just 1x plus 6 without the coefficient of 1. You don't need a coefficient of 1, so this would probably be the best way of writing it. And now what I'm going to do is represent this equation in the table here below. So I'm going to let this x-axis represent the number of years Paco has been at the company. And my y-axis will represent number of years that Beth was at the company. And I'm going to start, see how Paco here goes from 0 to 5. I'm going to do 0 to 5. And as I'm saying 5, I'm writing that. Oops, let me fix that. 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll actually just finish it out to 10 on my x-axis. And on my y-axis, I'm also going to go by ones. Okay, now, if I plot these points from my table on my graph, it would start like this. At 1 year, 7, 2 goes to 8, now 3 goes to 9, 4 goes to 10, and if I connect those, I will get my graph.